What's up everybody, it's the Inhuman one here, and today I'm going to lead you towards the way of the Pacifist. I'm going to teach you the art of fighting without fighting so that you too can play Cuphead in all of its black and white 1930s glory. But as I promised you in a previous video, I'm going to give you a true guide. I'm not simply going to tell you that beating the levels without firing a shot is key. That's the easy part. I'm going to walk you through each and every one of the 6 platforming levels and show you the abilities that you need to equip on your equip card so that you're successful. The footage you're about to see are my first ever completions of the levels, so forgive the sloppy performance. Do however focus on some of the choices I make so that you can take from my strategy and improve upon it. So without further ado, let's get started. The key to success in the Pacifist missions is going to be maximizing your health, precise jumps, farming parries, and proper selection of abilities. Let's take a quick look at the equip card for Cuphead. I use the Twin Hearts charm in order to increase my health to the maximum 5 hits. I also selected the Invincibility Super as it is crucial to get past some of the mini-bosses on the platforming levels. So once you have these abilities equipped, come join me in Forest Follies. Forest Follies is actually very straightforward. You will want to utilize the dash maneuver as much as possible to speed through the level. Be sure to parry any pink you see across the way. This includes shots from enemies, obstacles, and more. You will want to make sure that you have a fully powered super ability by the time you face the mini-boss, the Acorn Maker. Keep in mind that using your supers to bypass the mini-boss is a strategy that you will use repeatedly throughout this guide. Once you do reach the mini-boss, jump straight up and pop your super. This will give you the extra oomph you need to clear the mini-boss and reach the finish line. Now let's move on to the second level, Treetop Trouble. Carefully time your dashes to get past the woodpeckers and keep an eye out for the pink ladybugs that roll around in the tree trunk. Once you get to the section where you start moving up vertically, you'll want to take care not to get distracted by the beetles that fly at you. Stay focused on quickly moving to the top so you can get to the flying leaf sequence. Be sure to farm 5 parries before you reach the outside of the tree. You'll either need a full super or a few extra hit points to get past the mini-boss. Once you do make it to the boss encounter, simply pop your invincibility super and fall below the boss so that you can bypass it and make it to the finish line. Now after you make your way to Inkwell Isle 2, you will reach a level by the name of Funfair Fever. In this level you'll definitely need to utilize your super early on to make your way past some key areas. After dodging the Magician's Blast, keep an eye out for the pink balloons. These are the key to a successful Pacifist run. Farm the pink balloon until you max out your super and make your way outside the tent and towards the cannon area. Pop your super once you get the first line of defense from the dolls hanging from the metal pipes and quickly dash through the enemy lines and past the cannons. Then suck it up and get past the next area until you reach the shotgun wielding toy machine. Sacrifice a hit point and walk through him to progress to the last part of the level. Be very patient with your jumps and use Cuphead's dash maneuver to clear the jumping snacks. Be sure to avoid the condiments that fly past you, and you should have plenty of hit points left when you make it to the dancing hot dog man. Simply sacrifice another hit point and mosey on over to the finish line. Now, you're halfway to the Pacifist achievement and playing in black and white. In my opinion, the second platforming level in Inkwell Isle 2 is the most difficult of all 6 that are currently in the game. Funhouse Frazzle takes the greatest amount of time to safely farm 5 parries that I use to get past certain sequences, and the fact that you can choose the ceiling or the floor as your surface to run on is a bit dizzying, and it's the perfect distraction to keep you off your game. In the first sequence, make sure you're on the same floor as the toy ducks. Farm the pink duck 5 times to max out your super with little effort. I'm going to speed through this area in the video. Now keep in mind that this is the most time consuming part of my strategy. Now make your way to the wall. With careful timing and precise jumping, you can actually make it through either of the open mouths of the wall immediately after the cars pass through without taking damage. But I wasn't able to pull it off on my completion run. However, it can be done. Stick to the ground floor and avoid the shots. Be patient and don't take any unnecessary damage. In the next area, Stick to the ground floor and avoid the shots. Be patient and don't take any unnecessary damage. In the jumping puzzle portion of the level, be sure to not get distracted by all of the visuals. Stay focused on making only necessary jumps and you will pass by with little to no damage. Once you reach the mini-boss, determine which mouth is going to open. Move to the correct floor, pop your super, and walk right through the mouth to the finish line. Only 2 more levels left to go after this one. In Rugged Ridge, the key to success is understanding hitboxes. Nearly every single jump in the first section of the level relies on your knowledge of Cuphead's hitboxes as well as enemy placement. Keep a close eye on how much I invade the personal space of these demon goats. You will notice that I am not a very shy person, as I am pretty much in kissing distance with each one of these deadly bastards, patiently waiting for the precise moment to make my moves. Combinations of jumps and dashes are required here to avoid damage. Make it through the elevator section and do your best to farm the dragon's pink fireballs. But don't worry if you aren't able to farm 5, the invincibility super in this particular level is not at all required. So don't get sloppy or greedy like I did, and make it to what is in my opinion the most difficult sequence in this level. Keep your eyes on the spit from the walls. Don't pay much attention to the satyrs as they can only move in one direction at a time, unless of course they bounce off the wall. The spit's pattern is very unpredictable and can easily upset your rhythm and set you up to take several hits. Once the face is at its highest point, jump and parry off it to clear the wall. Get past the second wall and you are in the final stretch. A Cyclops will appear from behind the castle walls. You must rely on what I call corrective jumps in order to make it past the sequence. Corrective jumps are jumps where you utilize a dash to cover more distance, and then adjust mid-air to land on a platform below. Use this technique repeatedly until you make it to the finish line. Don't get distracted by the flames, their patterns are incredibly easy to predict and to adjust for. Be patient and make every move count. Alright, now let's move on to the final platforming level, Perilous Peers. In Perilous Peers, you will constantly be bombarded with flying projectiles. You will need to use a combination of the skills you utilize up to this point, including your dash jumps, understanding your hitboxes, and farming parries so that you can make it through with enough health to get to the end. As you progress through the level, keep an eye out for the flying pink fish. These are some of the easiest pink enemies to farm in this level. Make your way past the crabs and get to the piers. Once you're here, you may see a few pink starfish that you can easily parry as well as a lobster mini-boss. Avoid his claws and his lightning bolts while you move from boat to boat. Always allow room for you to make a jump to a higher ground so that he doesn't hit you. Once you make it to the octopus, you are in the clear. If you hit the pink crystal on the octopus, it will spit out a cannonball that can destroy the rocks blocking its path. Carefully time these jumps and avoid the shrimp coming from the right and the cannons shooting from the left. Remember not to overreact and make panicked movements. Stick to making small adjustments so that you can avoid as much damage as possible until the final stretch. If you begin to take too much damage, be sure to use your super to make it to the finish line. There isn't an official mini-boss that you need to avoid in this level, so don't be afraid to utilize your invincibility to make it safely to the final pier. And congratulations everyone, you are now a pacifist. Once you speak to the turtle sitting on the pier, he will reward you with a filter that will allow you to play the game in black and white. The filter can be accessed in your options menu. Visually, this is quite the treat, and not only that, but you accomplished it without committing any acts of violence. And that's it for this video guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. If it helped you, please consider leaving a like to support my channel. Be on the lookout for some incredible lore on Cuphead as well as some fun PvP montages for Destiny 2 that you guys are sure to enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, it's the Inhuman one, signing out.